Good morning and welcome back to another video. This is going to be a weekend in my life, but first, let's go to work. Let's do a quick outfit check. So I'm just wearing this crew neck or mock neck rather, these trousers. I'm going to wear some mule sandals or mule flats for work. So let's head out. So I figured I'd do a little desk chore. So this is where I've been stationed at for the year. Have my little notepad. Shout out to Emily and Faith. My little damn it doll. Shout out to Jess if you're watching this. I have my beautiful plaque here. Gifts from my mom. I know she's watching this. Hey, Mom. And I have this phrenology dog statue. Shout out to Natasha who gave that to me. Of course, we cannot forget the baby Remy. Hand sanitizer on deck. And all my clinical resources here. And some of these are games. It's a good way to sort of bond with patients. And also just keep it light. Sometimes that's just what you need in a day where it could be distressing or even just the boredom that comes with being in the hospital. So it's my little desk. For postdoc, I'll be moving, which I recognize we haven't talked about that, my next steps and where I've been. I want to introduce you to my best friend ever, Samson.
Hello, hello.
Who is also my co-intern. So why don't you tell the people a little bit about yourself, what you're interested in, what you're doing, where you're going, and maybe what you see in the near future for you.
Absolutely. Like you said, I'm Samson. Just graduated, so you could start calling me doctor as well. So I'm really interested in transitional age youth, and that's adolescents and young adults. That'll be anywhere from the age ranges of like 14 to about 25-ish, so it's a pretty wide range. And I'm doing a general track here alongside my forensic friend over here. And I've just been working with clients in serious mental illness because it's a newfound area of interest for me. Going forward, I'm going to be working at a group practice, and I'm really looking forward to be able to get into the private practice space and see what kind of options I have for maybe making a little bit of money alongside some of the public sector work I'm going to do. So that's kind of as far as I've gotten so far, and we'll see how the plan plays itself out.
Lovely. So to the people who are thinking about grad school and private practice, so two separate things, what advice would you have for them?
People who are thinking about grad school, definitely watch her video on PhD versus PhD.
Hey, nice plug there.
Right, I'm a PhD and she's a PhD. And I have I'm inclined far more toward the clinical piece than I am toward the research piece. So I think that's why PhD was a really great option for me. But she breaks it down really, really well in her video, so go check that out. And for people looking to get into private practice work, there are two main pieces that I'm learning about more right now. And that's the marketing piece. You have to make yourself marketable and know how to advertise yourself, not only just as a clinician provider, but also kind of as a kind of like a marketing piece. You're kind of a product in a way, because you need to get yourself out there. And the second thing that I've been learning more about is the insurance piece. There's a whole world of insurance that I do not know about, that I hope to get a lot more experience during this group practice. And so those are the two things I would say look into the most for trying to get into private practice.
Beautiful. So I recognize that I have not posted
I didn't know you were
a
starting.
video in 9 freaking months, and there are many reasons for that. As you know, life gets busy, and I always say this every time I vlog, that like I want to pick up the camera more, I want to vlog, but it truly has been like a period of adjusting. So like my last video mentioned, I moved back to Massachusetts. It has been the most incredible year, as I hoped for and wished. I love my community that I have going on here. Adjusting to internship was a lot as well, working 5 days a week. So doing clinical work, doing forensic report writing, trying to balance spending time with family and friends, like just a lot. And it was a lot of trial and error, and I think it still is. And that took up a lot of my time. The other piece is that I was working on my dissertation. So I did not defend before going on to internship, and I wanted to, but things just happened. There are recruitment barriers. There are many, many things that can get in the way, right? So while everyone says a done dissertation is a good dissertation, I do believe that to be true, and I also believe in scientific integrity, and I believe in best practice in the research that you're doing. And so that was also taken into consideration, and wanted to ensure that I had richness in the work that I was doing. So I did that, defended my dissertation successfully, April 29th, and I wanted to vlog that day. I remember doing an intro clip, and just my nerves were all over the place, and I didn't even pick it up after it was over. But that happened. Maybe like 3 days later, I fly to New Jersey, I graduate, right? So I went to the hooding ceremony. So I'm so happy to stand before you as a PhD graduate in clinical psychology. And so that's what I've been up to. In terms of next steps, I will be staying at my current internship site. I accepted a position as a forensic psychology resident in their fellowship, postdoctoral fellowship program, where I will be doing forensic assessment full-time. And at the end of that, I will sit for the board certification test to be a designated forensic psychologist. Ooh. And then who knows? So I will still vlog my journey, because maybe private practice. I mean, I would love to do private practice. So that's what I've been up to. So what are you laughing?
I'm just picturing your next vlog being like, I opened a food truck or
oh
something.
My God,
just like
that's
completely unrelated.
It's like, I am now a tap dancer. So Samson,
yes,
you talked a little bit about your journey and where you're going and where you see yourself headed. How has this year been for you?
This has been a heck of a year. Where do we even start? So early on this academic year, I completed my colloquium, where I was defending and presenting my piece.
Could you talk a little bit about, because I know you said you're in a PhD, and you also have this milestone, this big research project. Can you talk about what that is like for you and your program?
Yeah, the doctoral project is a little bit different than a full dissertation for a couple of reasons. Like, the general process is the same, where we propose and have to get that approved and go through the IRB and everything. And then when we conduct it, we have to kind of get it all together, all the doctors and your chair and committee members contribute and look at all the different pieces that you've done. The main difference is that I didn't even necessarily have to defend as much as I did have to kind of present. Most of the work and the confirmation that everything was kind of copacetic happened prior to the date where I had my colloquium. I don't know if that's program specific or if that's a PsyD thing across the board, but that was pretty significantly different than Danika's experience, where she was doing a full dissertation that she had to defend kind of in the moment on that day. But yeah, everything else sounds like it was pretty much the same as her experience. It was the biggest research experience that I've had to date. Not the only one. I've had a couple of other research experiences prior, but it definitely was like the thing I've put most of my energy in terms of research. But I'm happy to like be done with that because, like I said, I'm much more clinical focused than I am research focused. So, did that answer your question?
It did.
Okay,
Yes.
great.
Thank you so much. What else about your year? I sort of interrupted to have you elaborate a little bit more. But...
My year. So this past year I got both engaged and married, and moved. I've been commuting pretty long, significant different distances to actually be here. I've been kind of hanging on and telling myself it's not forever, and that's the only reason it hasn't led to a severe level of burnout. But all of that is just to say that life is like so dynamic and it changes, and a lot can happen during your internship year. So I, of course, also graduated. Thank you. And there's a big move that I have coming up. I'm going to be transitioning to my postdoc, which is in a whole another part of the country. So having all those things kind of squeezed in together, mix in whatever difficulties you have on internship, mix in whatever family things you have going on, mix in any interpersonal things you have going on, and it definitely makes for one heck of a year. So it's going to be one that I never forget because I did get to meet Danica here, and the other intern is not here today. There are a lot of really positive experiences that I'm going to take away from this as well. So yeah, that's pretty much been my experience this year.
Well, thank you so much, Samson, for sharing to the people out there. And we hope to have you back on in another video.
Absolutely.
All right.
Another week well done.
Another day, another dollar.